Well, hello, everyone out there. This is Dr. Crystal Porter, your hair scientist and host for How the Hair Are You on iHeart Radio, WCSU. Thank you for tuning in. This is a show that is all about hair, and every week there will be a different in-studio guest to discuss things that matter to you. So no topic is off limits. We will be discussing any and everything, so if you have any questions, you can tweet me at Main Insights or hit us up on Facebook, How the Hair Are You, and Main Insights, but also...
And you can also chime in and ask questions on Maryam Hair Care Pro at Facebook.com. And yeah, we're ready for you today.
All right, and this week I'm honored to share the mic with a talented young licensed hair professional who is not only a cosmetologist, but she knows her craft enough to teach other hairstylists about what she does and how to do things right. And let me actually properly introduce her, because we actually met 2 years ago at the Black Women's Expo. And I had a table there because I was trying to introduce people to the scientific approach to hair care. And what I ran into a couple of her clients, and they saw what I was doing and said, oh, I know someone who would actually love to meet you. And so when she came to the expo, she came to my table, and I was just absolutely honored to meet her and to hear her enthusiasm about what I was doing, but also to hear about her perspective that's very unique because it's from a stylist perspective. And with what I do, I have to recommend people to see cosmetologists because I don't do hair. I just kind of, get them on the right path. But if they're not interested in doing their own hair,
right,
then I need someone like you with,
right,
an expertise who I know that they will take care of the hair and implement some of the things that's important. So it's quite an honor to introduce Miss Maryam. So
hey, y'all. Hey.
Thanks for coming on in.
One passionate, very experienced hairstylist is who you're listening to today, and I really take pride in everything that I do. Every piece of information that I give you, it is from a genuine place, and of a place from being a client myself at one point, and everything that I'm telling you is specifically for your best interest of your hair care. It's no experience that I probably haven't experienced myself, so you guys can really benefit from knowledge and encouraging words from myself and Crystal through the stuff that you all may be experiencing with your hair. So it's like her and I both share that passion, and I think that when we first met each other, that was our genuine connection, is that we had a passion for getting people on the right path as far as hair care goes. So I am very honored to be here today, and thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah, so wanted to talk a little bit about who you are, and where you're located. Do you accept new clients? Let's hear a little bit about you and your background and what actually drew you into going into cosmetology.
Of course. Well, I am, like I said, I've been in the business for a while, 16 years to be exact. November made exactly 16 years, which kind of tells y'all a little bit how old I might be. But I digress.
You just had a birthday.
I did.
Too,
I did. My birthday was on January 31st, actually. And I'm very much energetic as if I was 16 years old. So that's a good thing. I started off in corporate America for just a moment, but I was a client, and a little of my backstory is that I was a client going to salons to get different hair styles and thinking I'm getting conditioning treatments and stuff like that, and I would have a whole bunch of oops and woes in the salon. But at that time, it was a lot of years ago, and I didn't know exactly what was wrong with my hair. I just knew something wasn't right about it with my experiences. So that prompted me to want to be more curious about this industry called hair care, or the beauty industry, if you will. And it sparked the interest, but at the time I didn't know that was the field I was going to go in until one last thing happened to me. It was like a last straw, which I'm sure most of you have experienced before, when you're just out there and not even have any direction on, what I should do. Should I do it myself? Should I keep paying someone to do it? Because you assume that they know more than you. So long story short on that part is that the one last bad experience that I had made me say, look, I'm about to learn about this thing myself. So I took all the money that I had at the time and invested it in the beauty industry and educating myself to become the stylist that I am today. And when I was in school, I was diligent in my books and my studies, and I knew then that it was way more to it than styling some hair. It was way more to it than your cosmetic appearance of your hair. I knew that it was something deeper as far as how your hair behaves, because I'm an advocate today of if your hair is healthy, it'll behave however you want it to. It'll style however you want it to, and it'll maintain a look that you want without you having to do too much work. So 16 years ago, I got licensed, and I got further education outside of that because my specialty is hair cutting. I do color, I do relaxers, I do natural, I do short, I do long, I do a whole bunch of things that has everything to do with the hair growing out of your head. And
so no weaves.
No weaves. That was a nice way to say that.
Clarify what you meant by that.
The hair that grows out of your scalp is the hair that I deal with, and I try my best to maintain it at its healthiest and optimum condition that it can be. And the hair weave is something I do know how to do, but I don't specialize in it specifically because of the negative causes that it has on hair. And I take hair care very, very, very seriously. And so anything that's going to counteract my hard work, I don't promote it. So that's no offense to all you girls who are doing hair weaves. You know, big ups to you. But the hair that's underneath is the hair that the women have to live with. So I take pride in even telling those people when I educate, because I am an educator also, to invest in the hair that's coming out of their scalp. So when they're tired of the weave, commercial hair is made for a reason, just for a look for the moment or whatever. And it's not supposed to be a permanent thing because it's not an appendage of your body. It's an addition to your body. So it's for a moment, and then you're supposed to be able to still wear your own hair proudly and not feel so ashamed and feel like you have to cover it up because you don't have any more options, because hence the hair weaves or the tracks or the glue or whatever hinders your hair in that way. So I don't promote those things. I have recovered a whole bunch of women from the damage of hair weave, and so I take pride in that. So it's almost like this, and please don't be offended, but as long as you guys are messing up their hair, my chair will stay full because they come to people like me for rescue, and I don't mind, because I continually educate myself, even though I'm teaching other stylists about hair care and good practices. I have to stay educated myself in order to give them knowledgeable facts. Now, that's not to say I know everything, but I pride myself on finding out the truth and the real answer. So, to answer your question again, or further detail myself, my salon studio is in Oak Brook, Illinois. And it's
that is Chicagoland.
It's 3021 Butterfield Road in Oak Brook, Illinois, 60523. And if you guys want to further get more information about what I do, what I specialize in, my website is www.missmaryam.com. As simple as that. And you can ask me anything that you want. You can contact me directly through my website, and I do online consultations all day long. It's something I do from my heart, so there's no fee for advice as far as like your general questions, and then in-person consultations, I welcome those as well, but you can communicate with me to find out more information about that.
So can you spell Miss Maryam, because that may not be intuitive to some?
I sure can. It's MARYAM.com.
Well, great.
Actually, let me go ahead and correct that. It's www.miss, that's M-S, Maryam, no space, MARYAM.com.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. But, you hit on something that I think is really important. Mm-hmm. And you were talking about how women choose to do weaves. Mm-hmm. But sometimes they feel that it's not a choice. Because there are some women who just like to have a different look every day.
Yes.
They like to have their own hair one day, then the next time they wash their hair, they like to put in something to have a different color, put some length in, you know, so they kind of diversify their look.
Yes.
But then there are those who feel like they have no choice.
Right.
Because they're having hair loss issues.
Right.
And I have to get my girl on here. I know this is not a good time for her to come on, but I have a very dear friend, Dr. Victoria Barbosa. She is who I always recommend in the Chicagoland area for someone who is, well, she's a dermatologist and she knows her craft. And she has helped lots of women with hair loss issues. And one of the things that people have a tendency to do is to put on a wig or a weave to hide an underlying problem that could be worked on, and I don't want to say fixed, but you can actually reverse the trends of hair loss if you catch it early enough.
Right.
So you have to see a professional dermatologist to actually properly diagnose what is going on, but then go to someone who's knowledgeable to do your hair to support some of the things that's going on with your hair. So I'm glad you said that you help women who have had problems to actually come out of their weaves or wigs, or I'll just say hair prosthetics.
Yeah.
Help them to come out, because I feel that some women feel that they have no choice.
Well, I know a few of those women. I know some people who have real alopecia, like, you know, the scalp is clean, like no follicles are open anymore. And in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I feel like that's what the wigs and things are made for. That's who they're made for. I mean, I know people like to change their look, and that's fine, but I do think the person who wants to change their look temporarily is just a quick fix, but their hair is intact. It's not for that. But the person who does not have a choice, two things that you said that was important is they should be seeking a dermatologist. Some things are hereditary, trauma in their life may have caused it or whatever. And that person may not even know that this is why their hair is coming out, but because commercial hair is so popular, they feel like, well, I'll just do the default move and not find out what's really going on with me, but just go ahead and cover it up with this and that. And so my biggest thing is that the hairstylists that are in our industry, it's a big percentage of them who don't care. There's a big percentage of hairstylists who feel like as long as I can sew some tracks or glue some tracks to make you look aesthetically beautiful, then I'm going to keep taking your money. I'm never even going to look into what could be going on and try to fix what's underneath. I mean, I understand sometimes you have to go through to get to, but a lot of hairstylists out here, unfortunately, are not going to get to the bottom of the problem. They're going to keep just taking your money. And, you know, as long as they can, I guess, manipulate you to feel like this is better than nothing, then you're going to keep going with that, as opposed to someone who cares enough, even if they are doing commercial hair on you, meaning the hair weaves, they are still, you know, caring for your scalp underneath or referring you to a dermatologist so that we can be killing two birds with one stone. You're okay with the way you look for now, but we're getting it to the point where this is just an option, not the only choice, you know? So
Absolutely.
that's, you know, and I've been telling you, 16 years of being in the hair industry, I've seen it all, and even when I've educated classrooms full of hairstylists, when I asked, you know, general questions like, for example, if you mess up someone's hair, this is the biggest one. One of the last classes that I taught. If you mess up someone's hair, meaning chemically ruin it or cut it the wrong way, would you tell the client? 80% of the classroom raised their hand and said no. They would cover it up. And to me, clientele is based on loyalty, is based on honesty, is based on a relationship that you don't want to ruin because you can trust this person. So if you ruin all those factors, the client may not say anything to you, but they're thinking of their next option. You know, a lot of clients are intimidated by hairstylists because they think that they're, you know, superior in one way or another. You know, it really frustrates me because I was them. I was the client before. But they're secretly thinking of another option, and unfortunately they result nowadays to like YouTube or buying wigs on their own, trying to fix it and do it the most, and they're ruining themselves even further because they lack the knowledge that we're supposed to be giving them, you know?
Right.
So y'all know I can talk for hours about this topic. It's like if you have questions, please feel free to chime in on Facebook, because my main goal for even being here today is to help you see things differently and to eliminate the intimidation factor and let you know that there are still hairstylists out here who actually care about the well-being of you and your hair and will help you to wear your own hair proudly, you know, whether it's natural, relaxed. Even if you want to wear hair weave underneath your hair weave, I'm here to tell you there's a few things that you can be doing to make it so that one day when you choose not to wear it, your hair is still intact. So that's why we're here today, and we're going to help y'all get to where y'all supposed to be.
Absolutely. Now, you also said something about you being the client.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so unusual because I always thought, and you're actually the first person that I've met who was in another profession and decided because of the pain that you had with your own hair to actually go out and teach yourself how to do hair. I mean,
when I say the struggle is real, y'all really don't know my struggle. And nobody's story is a surprise to me. They come in, oh my God, Crystal though. They come in such damsel in distress moments. Like they feel like I had a client specifically, your mom-in-law, who felt like there's no other way. You know, there's no other way. Oh, this won't happen. Because for years, her stylist was never showing her anything different. So she was a product of routine.
Well, yeah. So let me first say that I don't think my mother-in-law minds, but some people may care about being named. Oh. So you may want to just kind of, think about that, because some people don't mind being put on blast and some people do. So you may want to be a little bit careful about that. But
my bad. My heart is good. Charge it to my mind because my heart is in the right place. All I want to do as a beauty professional from today and even going forward is to show people that you do have options. There's more than one way. And what you probably thought was your only option, it probably is a better way. But I do understand the lack of trust. You know, once someone kind of like defies your trust, meaning, you know, you're caring for them in this way or whatever, just like a doctor, you do want to, sometimes you have to step out on faith and trust that your new option may be the one that you've been waiting for.
But here's the thing, and I think we can talk a little bit about that in our next segment, but what I want to touch on is there are people out there who don't feel like they have options. They have actually chair hopped for a number of times and they still have not found the right one for them. So let's talk a little bit more about that, because that is extremely important. And I would say a huge percentage of the people who contact me for hair advice, when they do not do their hair themselves, they have been several places and they figure, well, I may as well stay where I am because I don't want to deal with it myself. They know more information than me. I know I'm not totally happy, but this is better than me doing it myself. So let's talk a little bit more about that on the other side. So what we're going to try to do, I'm going to say during the break, if you would like to call in, because I had a student before I came here to the studio. She told me that there was a friend of hers named Tammy. So Tammy, if you're listening, hey. And she said she wanted to call in, and because the phone system is something that I still have to get used to, I can try to bring you on. So if you do want to call, let me give you the number. The call-in number is 821-4960. Again, the phone number to call in is 773-821-4920. And if you want to call during the break, feel free to do so, and we'll try to get you in. So until we'll take a 10-minute break, and then we'll see you on the other side.